Hey everyone, welcome to our first team call of July 2018. We are just off the heels of Coach Summit and we are fired up. Literally before the call, I was playing Don't Stop Believing by Journey, and if you're at Summit, you understand why. But if you weren't, don't worry, at the end of the call, you'll understand why. But we are so excited, and there's so many faces on here, new coaches, old coaches, in between coaches, but we are fired up. I know Jenna feels the same exact way. We've shared some crazy, huge goals with you guys, and we will reiterate them on here. But we wanted to kind of get together, have a place to kind of recap what happened at Summit, some updates, or where you can find information on all the updates and all the things that are happening. Super Saturday is this upcoming weekend, which is a great event you can attend if you're not able to attend one. Corporate puts the video in our Coach Line office, and there's even virtual events, so you can pop in like on a Zoom if you can't go to one or there's not one nearby you. Well, we're just kind of recap and go around, and everyone's going to share a little bit about their experience at Summit because, you know, I've been to 5 summits already, and honestly, this has been the freaking best one ever. And I will share a little bit why later, but I want you guys to also give your input. There's coaches that, attended their first summit this year. There's some coaches that, went to their second or third summit. And we want you guys to share your experiences and tell us, like, did it fire you up? Like, why people need to get to summit next year and every single summit for ever and ever and ever. But I'm going to stop talking. Jenna, I'm going to let you speak. Go girl.
Yeah, Summit is, I say this every year, and I feel like my coaches don't believe me until they just go and experience it for themselves. I mean, of course they want to go, but they don't like fully understand the power of events until they get their butts there. And literally every year I witness my coaches coming home like, oh my gosh, I've been dreaming so small. Like I am no different than any of the top coaches. If they can be successful, then I can. And that's the mentality that my coaches leave with every single time. And it wasn't just me that came home from Summit, like wanting to dream bigger, wanting to push more than I had been really, allowing myself to do before Summit. But my coaches started to see, like, I can be pushing for so much more. Like, instead of wanting to be diamond by the end of the year, no, they want to be diamond by the end of the month. Like, it does not need to take that long to, move forward in your business. Like, if you want this, then we're here to run with you. I know Paulina and myself are like not like jogging along anymore. Like, if you don't want to run, that's fine, and we're still going to meet you with where you're at. But if you want to sprint with us, like, let's go. We're not playing small anymore. So with that being said, if you did not go to Summit, and if you did go to Summit, whatever that is, like, go get your ticket for next year. It is discounted through July, what is it, 7th, 9th? Do you remember? 9th? Hold on, Katie, you're blocked. The 9th? Okay. Yeah, July 9th. Your ticket is $130, guys. That's like nothing for everything that you're coming out of that event with, all the value you're coming home with, and all the team bonding. Like, I was in an Airbnb with my girls, one of whom I had never met before, and another one was only my second time meeting her. And then, of course, I had some local coaches to me go as well, but we had so much fun. So get your butt there, get out of your comfort zone, and if you feel like you're dreaming small, then I want you guys to get out of your own way after the call tonight and really be inspired to push yourself a little bit more and kind of create goals that make you want to puke just a little bit. So with that being said, I will pass it back to you, Paulina.
Yes, hashtag all the puke goals. And honestly, to reiterate everything Jenna said, I agree with it all. And whether you've been to Summit or you haven't, we had a coach, Lindsay Britt, who literally got her ticket the day after she signed up to be a coach, came into this experience not knowing anybody, and with in less than 48 hours, like, we're all sitting together, talking, having fun, hanging out. And she's like, I feel like I've known you guys forever. And that's the, like, special part about our teams and just this community, this tribe of people that we have, and Beachbody as a whole, like Team Beachbody as a whole. What we do is so special. And not everyone is cut out for it, and that's fine. But we have a bigger vision for life. We have a bigger vision of what's possible and what kind of impact we can make on this world. So I don't want you guys to take that lightly. Like, don't ever think that like, oh, I'm just like, or whatever, or like, I'm not anyone special in this business, or, you know, my voice doesn't matter. No, you are freaking amazing. You are special. You are incredible. Your voice does matter. And this platform helps us reach so many people that we wouldn't have reached otherwise without this, right? Like, we are given everything in a pretty little box with a bow, plus all these cool, awesome new friends. Like, why isn't everyone doing this? Seriously. And they're not doing it is because we're not talking about it enough. We're not sharing about it enough. So that's one thing I want you guys to really go out there and like stress and share, and just like share with your heart. So I don't want you to be like a spammy person and just say like, join my team, join my team. Like, why are you doing this? You know, like, dig deep, think about your why, think about the impacts you want to make on people's lives, and just go out there with your heart. Lead with your heart always, and you will always find your people. And just imagine if, you know, next year you have 5 or 10 or 20 people from your team all being a part of this. Like, people you know or people you don't know, people you've met on social media, whatever. Like, 98% of the people on this call, we all connected because of social media. And isn't that cool? Like, these kinds of jobs didn't exist 10 or 20 years ago. This is the future. So imagine what else will be possible in 10 or 20 years from now. But we all have some kind of connection, some kind of, you know, similar interests, or we could relate with one another. And it's all because your coach or whoever came before your coach, which is who they signed up with, was vulnerable and real and authentic and just took the leap of faith to do this, right? And step out of their comfort zone. So like, believe in yourself. That was a whole like Beachbody Summit motto, believe in yourself, this year. And I loved how they tied it in with every little thing, every presentation, every workshop, every keynote speaker hit home on that message of believing in yourself. Because like we saw, anything is possible. You can become a coach today and become the next, you know, highest ranked coach in the network. There's nothing stopping you except yourself, you know, and putting yourself out there and just going for it and putting in the work that goes with this, because it is a business. It's not always easy. It's not always fun. But when you have that vision and that passion and remember why you started this, that's what's going to fuel you on the days that you don't want to show up, right? You know, we're all here to obviously motivate and inspire one another, but at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Like, I can't go to your house and force you to work or force you to invite people or share about this or do your workouts or whatever. But showing up for yourself first, that's what's going to make the difference. Every single day, day in, day out, that consistency. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Does anybody want to go first? I'm sure Katie will probably want to go. Katie?
Of course.
Of course. So you share your Summit experience, because this is your second time at Summit. Let us hear what it was like for you.
Okay, so like Paulina just mentioned, this is my second Summit, and I was lucky enough to have Taylor with me, one of my personally sponsored coaches and one of my best friends from college, to attend my first Summit with me. So that was really cool. But then being able to come into this Summit and have Katie and Allison and Tim also there. And Katie and I had never met. Like, literally, we met on Instagram. Like, we connected through our mutual love of peanut butter. Like, literally, that's how we met. So meeting her and realizing how much of, like, we are the same person, blew my mind. And it really gave me that belief that what we are doing as coaches is like a big deal, you know. And with the whole theme of believe in yourself, I mean, it really is just you. And I held myself back for so long just because I was afraid of putting those big scary goals out there, until one day I had a bunch of coaches sitting around who wanted to do this, and I realized I wasn't being the leader that I wanted to be. And so I had to step up, and at the end of April I hit Success Club in like 3 days at the end of the month. And then from that point on, I don't think I've hit anything lower than 16. Because I'm setting the goal high, because I want my coaches to know that I mean business, and I have big goals, and I want them to have big goals and not be afraid to put that out into the universe, because truly what you put out into the universe is going to come back to you if you just relax and let it come to you. And when Paulina and I talked last night, I mean, she just fired me up. I mean, like, when she said it, I was like, all right, like, it almost gave me that permission to say it out loud, because I was so scared to say my big, scary, hairy goals as well. But Summit, you guys, is unlike anything else because, like she said, you're with your team, and it's just incredible about, you know, like meeting people that you like know but like haven't met in person, and how much you guys just like get along. Like, I got to meet Jill for the first time, and that was incredible. I got to hug Maria for the first time. She's not on the call. Got to meet Tim for the first time. So it's so incredible. And if you guys are serious about building this business and making something of this, you will definitely make it a priority to be at Summit for sure. I mean, I have so many takeaways, but that's like my big thing right there. I'm fired up. That's it.
Mic drop. Yes, mic drop. And I will say, we had an awesome mastermind call yesterday, and like Katie mentioned, when I expressed my big, hairy, scary goal, that kind of gave her permission. So I don't want you guys to hold back. Just because maybe your coach hasn't set some kind of goal doesn't mean it's not possible, because there's somebody else in the network, in Beachbody, the company, that has set a goal and has hit it. So just know that nothing is impossible with this, right? And it's kind of crazy because then she mentioned that like her and Taylor have been setting these awesome goals for me to accomplish, like team goals. And they're like, we know you could do this. We know you could do, you know, we know we can make this happen as a team. And I was the one who was holding the team back by not just sharing what I want us to do together. So it's amazingly cool, this concept of like believing in someone's potential, but until that person's ready, right, and sees it for themselves, like you can't want it more for somebody else. So I want you to really figure out like, what do you want for yourself, and let your coach and your team and all of us support you in reaching that goal. But you need to identify that first. Like, we can't tell you, oh, reach this goal, do this, do that. Like, it's up to you. You know, it's all in your mind. So get out of your own way, figure it out, write it down, share it with us so we can help you stay accountable to it. And don't be scared. Like, something, Melissa, I'm going to call you out, Melissa Arroyo. She is my new coach. She signed up with To Be Mindset as a discount coach. She had like the worst experience ever because her shipment was delayed like a month. But she started right away. She started watching her videos. She didn't wait for her package. She didn't make the excuses. She was ready to go, regardless of whatever, all the other things that happened in her life that could have stopped her, right? So I reached out to her because I see her showing up on social media and putting herself out there and sharing her journey and doing all the things that we're doing already as coaches. And I'm like, hey, girl, like, have you considered doing this? Because I think you should do this because you're already doing it, right? So I sent her the coach sneak peek video. She watched it. And then she messaged me today right before I got on live on our team page to share my scary goals. And she sends me this message. And it was like the universe, like perfect timing. This is exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm like about to cry because seriously, this is how much like it impacted me. She randomly messaged me. She goes, you know what? I'm tired of being afraid to fail. Count me in. Like, I'm tired of being afraid to fail. Count me in. How powerful is that? Like, I have chills right now. Like I said, I'm on the verge of crying because that takes guts for you to come to a point where you are ready to say something like that and share that with someone. And I've been holding myself back. I've been holding all of you guys back, right? Like, because I haven't put myself like up there in really believing in what's possible for us as a whole. So stop letting fear get in the way. The only time you fail is when you don't even try. So just let that sink in. Okay, get off my soapbox. Way to go, Melissa. I'm so proud of you for being on this call. I'm like, hey, are you free at 8:30 tonight?
I also wanted to say one thing too. So even if you're like a brand new baby coach, like Melissa on this call, I want to inspire you to still dream bigger, because over and over and over at Summit, we heard like people who were Emerald, Diamond coaches at last Summit who then came back at this Summit speaking on stage as like a superstar Diamond coach. So like literally that, if you're not thinking that that same thing can happen for you, you're holding yourself back if you really want to do big things with this business. So be inspired by that, no matter if you are new or if you've been in this business a few years and haven't done as quickly as you wanted, chances are you're holding yourself back. So just let go of that and really allow yourself, like Paulina is saying, to just fully go all out with your goals and just put your head down, stop comparing yourself, be inspired by the success of others, and make it happen.
Yes, so whoever wants to go next, just unmute yourself and
The Slash wanted to go next.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. Was that you, Nathan? I'm not sure because before there was a slash and now it says your name.
Jill.
It was Jill. Okay.
I'll go next.
All right.
All right, so this was my first summit. I became a coach back in December, and it was really great at first because I was restarting my whole life, and then for some reason I just felt like the pull back, like I felt the tug of going back to what was easy pulling me. And I just want to say, if it wasn't for summit and feeling that connection and feeling the positiveness and getting to meet the people who I have been following, it really brought me back to why I started this. And since Summit, I've totally upped my game. I've listened to the seminars that they were giving us. And I actually have one challenger who never commented on any of my posts before, never liked anything. I reached out to her. I wasn't afraid to do it, and I just started talking to her, and she's so hooked that she is constantly hitting me up, asking me questions, and I just love it. And so being at Summit really brought me back to feeling like a part of something bigger, and I'm thankful for it. That's my takeaway from it.
All the yes. And this is something, we're a part of that's something bigger than us. And how amazing is it that we get to share this with one another and get to share this with other people. So I'm proud of you, Jill, for stepping up your game and not being scared and just reaching out to your challenger. And, let's get her to Summit. let's get her to be a coach with us, How cool would that be if she becomes part of your team? So great job for already taking action steps and not holding yourself back after coming off of this high from Summit and just getting to work and making things happen. So Jessie, you're next.
Hey, so I'm one of Jenna's coaches on Team Free to Be. This was my second summit that I went to, and I will say it feels like it was like a whole different kind of summit for me, because the first time I went, it was like an overload of emotions and oh my God. And then all the Beachbody stars, and so it was so hard to put myself in their shoes because I had them on this pedestal going on into it. And then this time coming in, before I even got there, I was like, no, they're just like me. I'm not going to bum rush, wanting to take a picture, and then as much as I wanted to, when I saw someone, I was like, no, relax. I'm just going to stand here and talk normal, no big deal. And it was more for me to keep reminding myself, because a lot of times when we run up to someone and oh my God, to take a picture, we're automatically putting ourselves in a separate category. So this summit for me was a huge reminder, seeing everybody go from coach to superstar, diamond to 5-star, in this really small, short amount of time. And here I've been a coach for 2 years, and I'm like, what the hell have I been doing? I was like, I have that experience. I was like, I served 20 years in the Army. I think I know how to lead. I'm like, what am I not thinking I can do? And so immediately I just went into it was work mode. It wasn't as much as I loved waking up with my, my besties, and we had such a great time bonding and being in the B&B where we were at the workshops and doing that piece. That was it. I just got in work mode. It wasn't oh my God, I could never do this. It was all right, what am I taking? I had to Post-its, and it sounds funny, but I had my notebook. And as I was listening to the workshops or listening to anybody speak, I would be like, ooh, that's something to do. I was just listening to things of okay, that's a do item. And I would tab it. And I just tabbed everything that was an action item, because I knew at the end, one, my handwriting sucks. And then two, it was going to seem so much. So I just went in with this, I'm going to come up with an action item list. I just tabbed everything that was a do. So then when the night before we left the B&B, I just typed it all up. I was like, I'm not leaving. Everything that's tabbed is just going to be an action item. And I knocked it down. It seemed like it was crazy amount. It was 13 do items. That's it. And so I was like, too easy. And so I went into Summit with Success Club 4. And then when I came back last week, I hit 8. And I was like, okay, cool. Today I signed one person up on the 2nd of July. Never happened. But it's because I just was on do mode, because I'm all they're doing is doing stuff. I'm like, I can do stuff. I do, it's I was like, there's nothing special. And that was the biggest takeaway for me. First one was a super emotional, is because it's holy crap, all these people coming together, they're all real. You know, I was like, you're out of a screen. So you're like more overwhelmed with just seeing everybody like out of a screen. And you're like, this is like for real. And then the second summit was like, it was like, okay, I got this. This is like for real. I can do this. And then that was my biggest thing. And I get all passionate and like super. And of course I have energized because I just went live like 3 times on all my platforms. And I just finished like a whole bunch of like to do just before this too. So bear with my, but yeah, so just, you know, it's just super awesome. And if you haven't gone, it has to be a non-negotiable. Otherwise it's going to seem fake. You'll never get to that. Like, this is real. It'll take a while. So go.
I love that you were inspired to just take action because, guys, that's what it boils down to. Like, stop overthinking. Stop thinking that all these other coaches are doing something crazy, special, and different than you. Just do the vitals, and, like, if you want to grow fast, 10x them. That's it. It's really that simple. So I'm so glad that you just stuck to the basics, Jessie, came back from Summit and just implemented like crazy because that consistency is already showing. Like you said, you came home, you locked in Success Club, and you're already starting the month off strong. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Taylor, you're next.
Okay, so I don't really have like notes, but I have a few tidbits that I'm looking from my notes from this, so it may be a little scattered. But a few things that I kind of took away is like one thing that I think Jamie said it. He was like, "Are you treating this business like a $160 challenge pack or like the $1 million opportunity that it is?" And like that like completely blew my mind, and I was just like, And then he also said something about, like, how many hours are you putting into someone else's dream? Because I spend so much time working at my full-time job and not enough time working on this. And he was just like, imagine, like, what your life would be if you were putting that much time into this business instead of your full-time job. And that completely just blew my mind, too. I was just like, okay, like, I can do this. And I need to, like, start putting more time into this and less time completely I mean, not that I need to can slack off in my other job, but just like less time worrying about it necessarily. And then a few other things. Ashley Molstead really like, because I was always worried like in my videos and my pictures, like I was always worried that they had to be perfect and my house had to be spotless and like everything for all my workout videos. And she was just like, just be yourself. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's real life. Like, people aren't going to judge you on whether your house is clean or not. I mean, maybe it shouldn't be completely trashed, but like, they're not worried about that. Like, as long as you show up every day, that's all that they really care about. And then another thing, Melanie Mitro said something about, are you saying yes to everything everyone asks you to do? And if so, like, you should ask yourself if that's contributing to your priorities and to this business. Because I know, like, my family and my friends are always asking me to go do things, and like or to help them with certain things, and like I have a really hard time saying no to them, and I need to get better about that and like actually like be like, no, like I need to get this work done, like I can't help you right now, I'm sorry, because I need to put myself first in order to be able to help them in the long run. And then I think that was really this was like my second summit, and it was really cool because I got to bring one of my coaches, Tim, with me, even though he missed the beginning, but it was still really neat that he got to see part of it and experience it and meet everyone.
Yes, I love that. And I agree 100%. And that's something with the whole like employee versus entrepreneur mindset is making that shift. Like, yes, our investment in this business is so low that people take it for granted that it is so easy to get into this. And it is so easy to slack off, because if you did invest 100 grand into like a brick and mortar business, you would be showing up day in, day out just to pay your bills, right? To make ends meet, to eventually make some money back from that investment. This investment is in yourself. Like, doesn't that blow your mind? The only thing you have to really pay for is your Shakeology, which is keeping you healthy, and you're working on yourself to better yourself, and all you have to do is just share that with people. What? Like, what? And like I said, the like possibilities of this business are limitless, literally, like income potential and just whatever you can dream it, you can do it. It's totally possible. Like we've seen from our upline coaches, Christina Delgado and her sister Becky Brissett, what they've been able to accomplish. Liz has seen with her upline coach, Elizabeth Harkey, and what her sponsor has done with this business. Like it just blows your mind. But the difference is, like Taylor said, we have to take these people off, or not, sorry, Jesse said, we have to take these people off the pedestal and think that they're like up here and doing all these things. Like they're just normal people. When they go to Target in their like area, in their neighborhood, nobody freaks out about them and wants to take a picture with them. Like they're just a regular person, you know, like we have them in this like Beachbody celebrity thing, right? They're regular people. They've just shown up more consistently and outworked us. That's the only difference. So there's no reason why we can't achieve the same kind of success or whatever success looks like for us, because everyone is different. You know, everyone has different goals and dreams and what they want out of this, but there's no reason why we can't accomplish that. Yeah, it's only famous on the internet. Thank you, Taylor. Whoever wants to go next, just unmute yourself. Anybody? Lauren, I'm gonna pick on you.
Okay. I'm here. So this was obviously my first summit because I signed up as a coach back in April. So I was super excited to go, but I never really get out much. I'm from a very small town in South Georgia, and I hardly go anywhere. So this was something big for me, just making the decision to even go to Indianapolis. It took me forever to decide, but finally, the day before registration closed, I finally bought my ticket. So I took the road trip up to Indianapolis, and for everybody that was there that got to meet Hunter, he says, the MVP says hello. So for those of you that didn't meet Hunter, that's my boyfriend. He is the one that took all of our pictures and all of that. It was a big thing for him too, because he was able to get out of his comfort zone because he doesn't do things like this either, and he was able to meet everyone just as I did, because I had never met any of y'all before. So my biggest thing was like getting to Summit. It was like, wow, this is real. And to be honest, like I used to look at Beachbody coaches and be like, what are they doing? And because I never really understood. There's a girl from the town right next to mine. She's a Beachbody coach, or she was. And I would see her posting every day, drinking her Shakeology and her yellow drink. And I'm like, what is she doing? Like, it's constant. What is she doing? So on my fitness journey, I finally decided, like back in 2015 is when I started. So 2017, I got on social media, started sharing my story, and then I was like, I want to become a coach. So back in October, Katie reached out to me, yes, over our mutual love for peanut butter. And I finally decided to give this a try. And this has been an amazing opportunity so far. But Summit definitely was a huge game changer for me because I learned so much valuable information, and that was the biggest thing for me because it really showed me what this is all about and how we can help people. So it was great. I enjoyed meeting everybody, and I haven't bought my ticket for next year because, you know, I kind of like to wait around, but I will be buying it. So whoever wants to go next.
Lauren, Sheldon, do you want to go? I'm calling you out, girl. Paulina, can you unmute her?
Yeah, I got it. Sorry.
All you.
When I have to talk, let's see. I probably went into this more in the beginning as like a girl's vacation, and it was really awesome, and it was really awesome meeting all my teammates and everything. Really bad at talking, but I definitely got a ton of information, especially about using Instagram. And I really bad at this.
Don't be nervous, girl. It's just all of us as the team. I guess I'll ask you this. Who was like your favorite speaker out of all the sessions? Like, did you like the workshops? Did you like those keynote speakers better? Like, what were you able to take away more from, I guess I should say?
I really enjoyed both of the keynote speakers, but the workshops were definitely where I got the most information.
Yeah.
I got a lot from Jatana Jackson, and I definitely was pretty interested in learning about the Instagram, building your business on Instagram. So that was a good takeaway.
Awesome. Yeah, like always at those workshops, like honestly, that's why I came into the workshops too, right? Instagram. There's always amazing top coaches who are sharing their tips and tricks, and you can pull from what's not working for you and really apply to your business in a strategic way. And Instagram's huge right now for growth. So I'm glad that you found those workshops helpful. But Beachbody is really great at pulling together really awesome speakers who are hitting on subjects that like we need to hear about as coaches. So thank you for sharing and getting out of your.
I do one more thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead, girl.
But so I think when I started this, everyone that I saw had already pretty much not completed, but maybe had already lost the weight on their journey. And so I obviously started at the beginning of my journey, and I'm getting there. So I think just going to Summit really opened my eyes as to how this is for everyone. And there were people of all different shapes, sizes, walks of life. And so that really resonated with me.
I love that. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing to just look around and see so many different people. Young, old, all different sizes, all different backgrounds, people who graduated college, people who didn't graduate high school. You know, it's like everyone has the same opportunity of success and has their own story in this. And that's so true when everyone's story is just so unique and everyone's story has a purpose, right? When you're out there being intentional and who you're trying to speak to and talk to and impact, then they're going to resonate with your story if you're sharing authentically. So I love that about Summit as well. Thank you for sharing. Who's next? Anyone else go to Summit that we haven't heard from yet?
I did. I know I'm like kind of new to this team, but Paulina's been super gracious to have me join you guys. But I wasn't planning to go on, but for me, it was my first time too. And I didn't really start coaching until last August or so. But for me, it was just, even describing to my team, it's like, it's something you can't really put into words unless you're there. And like, I remember walking around, I'm like, it's so powering because everybody is so happy. And like, before I would have been like, why is everybody so freaking happy? It's because we're all taking care of ourselves. We're all eating right. So if you take yourself and multiply that by 25,000, like if that puts it into any perspective, and what I was telling my people, it's like going to a big Tony Robbins event. Like you're just like, I think I cried about 15 times, not because I was sad, because I was so moved by what I was hearing. By even working out with Autumn, I started crying because like she was playing like George Michael Freedom, and I'm like, oh, this is just so cool. And even though I was in the way back and she couldn't even see me or whatever, it's so cool because you see other people who are just like you, getting up at 5 a.m., going off 3 hours sleep and working out. Like, and what I think one of the main takeaways that I took was I'm not inviting as much. Like I really need to get over my fear of inviting, sending those out, and really inviting to the coaching opportunity, which I haven't been doing because I've been afraid, because I hadn't had a place to kind of train my coaches. So Paulina's been very gracious to kind of help guide me, but I thank you guys all for having me here and letting me listen to you. But it's seriously life-changing. It's busy, but it's something that you can gain so much insight, and not even just with coaching, just for like your personal life development and personal development. Like Sean Aker was absolutely amazing. I just started crying because I was like, I couldn't even keep up taking notes because what he was saying was like blowing my mind. I'm like, I looked at my coach. I'm like, oh my God, like what is all this happening? So, and it got me to converse with like other people who are just like me, like the squares, the circles, the squiggles, like, oh, okay, so you're exactly like me in how we think. So I think it's great when we can converse online, but it's even more powerful. We can actually see each other in person. It's like you're already best friends because you've already shared so much about your life. So anyway, that's all I had to say, but I encourage any of you guys, if you didn't go, to go next year. It is definitely worth the investment. If not, with just coaching for, just for your own personal investments, into yourself. So anyway, that's all I got.
Yay, thank you for sharing. And I'm so happy we all connected on the interwebs. And even though you're not officially part of the team, like we're still all in the same network. We're all Team Beachbody coaches. And that's the coolest part about this business, is that everyone is so willing to share. Like even if you go on YouTube, search anything related to Beachbody, there's going to be like hundreds of videos, because all the coaches that teach and train on these topics are willing to share, because everyone wants everyone to be successful at this. It's not like dog eat dog in like corporate world and everyone's like out to get everyone else and like, you know, we'll step on whoever just to get to the top. Like, no, like we all have our own stories, our own gifts, our own voices to share. We have our own networks of people to connect this to, right? Whether it be fitness stuff or fitness and business stuff. Like that's the power in this business, right? And network marketing as a whole. Like we have an insanely amazing product line. We have us as coaches who help people get the results that they want and stick to their goals. And we have this support like all around, right? Like we have everything we need, the workouts, the nutrition, everything. It's all there. Like I said, packed in a little package with a pretty little bow. All you have to do is share about it and talk to people. That is the number one thing that's going to make you successful in this business, is just talking to people and being real and authentic and just sharing this. So thank you, Jen, for sharing. And anybody else want to go next? I see some other people. Anya, I think you unmuted yourself. Some want to go.
Yeah, I'll go. And sorry, I don't think you guys can see me. Something's going on with my technology today. But one thing that was really powerful for me is that I'm a relatively new coach. I'm a few months in. And what I've struggled with in talking to people is feeling like I don't have the authority to make recommendations for them. Like, I know this program works, obviously. I'm completely bought in, but I'm not a physical trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. And this event really showed me what I am an expert in, and that is my story and my experience. And that's something that I can share with other people and rely on the expertise of the people that created this program. So that gave me an added confidence boost in talking to people about the opportunity. The other thing that really resonated with me, which I think is a sticking point for a lot of other new coaches too, is that if you're just sharing about your workouts and your shakes, your customers or your potential clients are only seeing one aspect of what Beachbody has to offer, when there's also all these other great products that you can showcase. I think they gave an example of, okay, you wouldn't set up a store with just one product. People are going to come in and pick up that one thing and say, okay, cool, and leave. So even though I'm really trying to make money right now and not spend it, it showed me that it's worth the investment in buying some of Beachbody's other products too. So I immediately came home, I bought a new PD book, and then I bought a few new Beachbody products to try. So I'm excited to start sharing about those too. But again, I know several other people have said this. The other thing for me too is just consistency. Because I am like, the first thing for me to go when I'm feeling like emotional or overwhelmed is I'll stop sharing on social. And I realized that's not just a bad habit. It's really, really impacting my business. I need to show up every day and share, no matter how I'm feeling or no matter how much I get done that day. So I'm working really hard to be more consistent with that too, in addition to my inviting. So yeah, lots of things. But it was amazing. I'm so happy I went, and I'm so happy I got to meet my girls in person for the first time.
Yay! I am so happy to meet you for the first time. And guys, Anya came back from Summit, is like literally crushing it, is so inspired. She's like this close to diamond, like literally. I don't know if you can see me, but it's like an ink. So, but all your points were so spot on. Like what we're sharing about, guys, we really have to think about that. Even if it's like you're sitting there wondering, like, why can't I bring coaches onto my team? Well, are you sharing about the coaching opportunity just as much as you're sharing about your daily workout? If not, then people just aren't seeing that side of it. Same thing with the Beach Bar or the Energizer, all these other amazing products that we have. So I love that you mentioned that as well. And also the importance of investing in ourselves, right? This is a business and we do have to invest back into it to grow ourselves and grow our business. So whether that's prizes for our challengers or personal development books or trying different products, know that when you're putting your money into those things, like that's only helping to grow you as a business owner. So you kind of have to make that sacrifice in the short term to really see that growth long term that you're looking for. So thank you so much for sharing all amazing points. Anyone else on here who went, Paulina?
Nathan and Tim are the lonely wolves. They're the last ones. So Nathan, Tim, if you are willing and able to speak, please share your stories, because I'd rather you share them than me share your stories, because obviously it's not the same. So I know it might be scary. There's a lot of women on here. But
I'd love to hear the guy perspective for sure.
Yeah, me too. Okay, somebody, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
I feel like we need to play like the Jeopardy music. The do, 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 do.
Or if we're really intimidating you, you can type in the chat too.
Exactly. All right. Well, as they're contemplating what they're going to do, hands up if you are fired up and you are either you buy your ticket to Summit or you're going to buy that shit super fast before the sale ends, because you are ready to change your life and be part of this amazing thing. And like we all mentioned, you don't really understand it until you're there and you feel it and you see that energy. And like Jen said, you walk around and everyone's happy and like you're just like inspired as fuck. Like there's no other way to say it. And maybe I'll call on you, Melissa, with a Y, because you've been to Summit before. This year you weren't able to make it, but I'm sure you were like feeling massive FOMO. And for anyone who doesn't know what FOMO is, it's fear of missing out. So I'm sure you were like, oh, I wish I could have been there with everybody, right?
Yeah, that's 100% true. And I was actually going to jump in because last year in New Orleans at Summit was when I got my first group exercise instructor cert. So I got the Quarter Force Live with Joel and Jericho, and it was phenomenal. Fast forward a few months, I ended up doing the virtual trainings for Size and Turbo Kick, and I just totally fell in love with the group fitness aspect of it. So in addition to hosting the online challenge groups and stuff, which have kind of suffered because I entered a graduate program and it's really intensive and life happened. And so I'm really excited to kind of reset this summer, get back on track with helping challengers online, in addition to the classes that I'm getting to host in person too. So it was totally transformational and life-changing for me, 100%. I can't wait to go back.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And that's the cool part about Beachbody too. It's not just like virtual fitness coach or this or that. Like there's so many other things that this can branch off to, and you can expand yourself too. I know KDP, she also, before she started this, she wasn't super into fitness, and now she does like, you know, she's a personal trainer and does Camp Gladiator classes and got her certification, all these things because of this. So you never know, like you might be thinking like, oh, I'll never do that. But then you get inspired and you're like, why not? Like, why not just take that leap of faith and do it? And now Melissa found her love for teaching group fitness classes, and she's rocking it. And like next time I go to Orlando, I'll be like, hey girl, like, can I be part of your class? Because I want to do that. And she signed up for Super Saturday, which is so awesome. And I'm proud of you for going. And I'm proud of you for never giving up on yourself in this journey, even though you had all these other things like life stuff and school and all these things on your plate. Because it's easy. It's the easy way out is always to just give up on this first, right? But you're back. You're here. You're making the commitment to yourself to keep going. And I want you like to get recognized for that.
Yes, and I am fired up, y'all. So fired up.
Yes, girl. I love it. And you're going to Super Saturday with Julia and Christina, so I'm excited for that too. And yeah, like the friendships you make with this and the reasons why you connect with other people because of this, like it's just so cool because you'll never know. There's people that are watching your journey right now that you wouldn't have thought in a million years would ever join you, would ever consider this, who might have already told you no like 5 times or whatever. But you keep showing up and you keep inspiring them, and every single day you're planting that little seed in their minds. You're planting that seed in their mind, right? But if you stop, then what's going to happen? They're not going to ever reach out to you. They're going to be like, well, I guess she's not doing that thing anymore, right? But if you keep going and you keep showing up every single day on the good days, on the bad days, and you share the shit, like not every day is great, you know, things happen, but we have to be real and vulnerable and relatable because people experience life all the time too, right? But if they see you showing up regardless and always adding value and trying to find a positive spin on things and find the silver lining in things, they're going to want to join you in the future, whether it's tomorrow or a week from now or 3 years from now or 5 years from now or whenever, right? Katie, I see you unmuted yourself, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you started getting on the topic of like, you know, just making sure that you follow up with people even when they like tell you no. And I just want to really drive that home because, I mean, if I would have given up at, you know, the first no's that I would have gotten, if Paulina would have given up on me, I mean, I told her no for like 9 months, you know, and then finally I was ready and I just ran from the start because she was so consistent and she showed up every single day. So like I knew that she was doing this, and if I wanted someone who was going to go all in. And so, you know, you just never know like when it's going to happen. I mean, Taylor signed up with me as a challenger, and then all of a sudden she was like, I want to do this coaching thing, and I was like, all right, let's do it, you know. So you never know. I'm now like, I used to be so discouraged by getting no's, thinking that it was me. But you have to take yourself out of the equation and really just think about this as your responsibility and really just putting that in front of somebody else because they're waiting for you to do that. Like you are the one who they need to hear from. And so don't be afraid to share that. The worst they can say is no. And you can ask them if you can follow up later or if they have referrals. Like this is a business, you know, like don't just treat this as a hobby. Otherwise it's going to pay you like a hobby. And I know I'm trying to have this be paid like a business. I don't know about you, but that's where I'm headed. And I hope you are too. Don't give up at the first sign of struggle. That means you're on the right track. Boom.
Boom, mic drop. Any final words from anybody? Anyone who's a new coach or newer coach who hasn't gone to Summit yet, who is inspired by this call, who's ready to experience all this stuff in real life? I know Jackie Griffey, you're going to Super Saturday with Lindsay this weekend, so I'm excited for you to be surrounded by other coaches and just like feed off of that energy and see what's possible. KDC?
Okay, I just want to say on the topic of being consistent, so whenever Katie first reached out to me, like I said, back in October, I told her no for so long because I wasn't ready. I didn't know if this was something that I wanted to do or that I wanted to commit to, but she, you know, she would reach out to me, she would follow up with me, and I told her at Summit that I talked to a lot of other coaches, and just to, you know, get their opinion, you know, see what they're doing, get their story about it. So I told her that I'm glad she found me and I picked her per se because she was so consistent and she showed up every day, and I knew that she would be there because she was always showing up. So me, you know, I'm getting a lot of denies. I'm getting a lot of no's. I'm being left on red. People will be all into it, and I'll even have a link sent out, and then, you know, they just ghost, and I don't ever hear back from them. But it is all about being consistent. And one thing that I have noticed is that people are watching, whether you think they're not, because I have actually had people reach out to me this week that I think didn't even follow my page, to be honest, because they never like anything, they never comment. But if we're being consistent, people will reach out and they will commit when they're ready.
Amen, girl.
Amazing.
Yes. Okay, so I think we'll wrap it up now unless anyone wants to jump in. Nathan, I know you didn't want to share, or I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe you're doing something and you can't. But I'm really proud of Nathan for stepping out of his comfort zone. Nathan shows up on like every single call, every single week, and like he drove to Summit. He was surrounded by all these girls and Tim and also Hunter. But he fully embraces, like, it was like super, super, super outside of his comfort zone. And he really like soaked it all in. And I remember the last night we were walking to a bar after everything was finished, and he's like, oh, like, I don't want this to end. And that's like the kind of feeling you want everyone to have in this experience, whether they're a challenger or a coach on this team. You want this to be so freaking amazing that you never want them to leave, right? Like, you want them to be part of this forever and ever and bring more people to this, because like I said many, many times, this is something special, right? And we need to treat it as such, and we need to realize like how empowering this is. Like, there's so much shit going on in the world. Like, I don't watch the news because it's all bad news. It's always negative and things that like make me sad and bring me down. But we're doing something positive for ourselves, and we're inspiring other people to also do something positive for themselves. And like, we can't let that message be unheard. So whether it is following up with somebody for the 10th time or the 20th time until they finally decide they're going to join us, whatever, like I said, like we've said, take yourself out of the equation. This is not about us. It's about them. It's about all the people that we can inspire with our message, with our stories, with our voice, with our consistency. Love you, Nathan. And yeah, we just need to constantly be remembering the bigger picture of this whole mission. It's not just about us. It's not just about our goals. Yes, it's great that we get this amazing opportunity where we can accomplish whatever we want to accomplish, but we're in this all together to make an impact on this world, like to leave a legacy, not just, yeah, we did something great, but like, what else? Like, what great thing will our families remember us for, our kids, our grandkids, all those things. And I know maybe like that seems so like far ahead, and like we don't really think about that on a daily basis. And it's kind of sad that we don't learn these kinds of things in school, like about vision and belief and mindset. But these are all things that you get to learn now and get to immerse yourself in. And personal development, I used to be like, oh, that's for like crazy people, right? Like, I don't need to read a book about being whatever. Like, well, we all have a little crazy, number one, and we all have areas that we can improve on in our lives. So let's be aware of that and be mindful and say, okay, this is my chance to work on myself. Like, how cool is it that our company stresses our health, our wellness, our mindset, when everybody else around us is constantly trying to drag us down or beat us up or are putting their negativity on us, right? Like, we're creating these positive bubbles in these communities, and, you know, our daily communication with one another and showing up in our challenge groups and being there for one another, like, that's empowering. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but this is something so freaking special. Like, we need 20,000 million more of us. But anyways, Jenna, do you have anything else to say? I can go on and on and on about this.
I just want to say, guys, like, if you don't have your summit ticket, go get it. Like, this, if you're making that decision, like, oh, I'll wait to see if I'm available next year, like, you're not busy. Like, I know that. Summit next year, you're not busy yet. So make that decision to commit and look at it this way. Like, this is a job. If you really want this business to change your life, you need to start taking it seriously. And if you're deciding to not invest in this ticket right now, you're basically, that's like the equivalent of telling your employer that you're not going on a work trip. Like, you need to make that non-negotiable commitment to be there. And if you have financial struggles, then break it down like this. Help 3 people this month and you cover the cost of your ticket and then some. So make that investment, and then with your back against the wall, sometimes that's what it takes to really go all in and make it happen no matter what. So there is a way to make it happen. Don't lean back on your excuses. Just commit to going and being present and allowing yourself to grow personally and as a business owner. And then the last thing I wanted to end with was team up with someone. If you don't have a success partner or an accountability buddy, then go find one. Go ask your coach for help. Go post in the Success Club partner group floating around on Facebook. Post in the team pages. Because I know that coming back from Summit, Paulina and we like kind of reconnected and we shared our goals. And honestly, like I was kind of thinking of a goal, and then Paulina said that was like her goal. And so then I was like, all right, fine. I'm actually going to push for it too. And as you guys probably all know by now, sure, both in our team pages, but we are both pushing to develop elite teams this year and to really work with the coaches who want to work and run, because we know that both of our teams are deserving of this rank in the company and being recognized as the top teams that we all know that we are in here. And we know that we're holding you guys back. And honestly, I don't know if I would have continued to push from now to the end of the year for this amazing title and being one of the top teams in the company if it wasn't for having a success partner. And I know that we balance each other out in different ways, but it's so helpful when you have someone who wants to end up where you want to end up, pushing alongside you, motivating you, inspiring you, encouraging you to dream bigger. Because sometimes when we're in the midst of things and we're getting no's and we're slacking on our personal development and it just gets hard, like it's hard to keep dreaming and continuing on staying positive. But when you have that person who's your buddy, who's your go-to person, like you're going to continue to push, you're going to continue to dream even bigger, and honestly reach for those goals that make you want to puke. I kind of want to puke right now saying that. But I know Paulina agrees. So if you guys need help finding a success partner or accountability buddy, then put it out there into the universe. And obviously, you know, your coach will help you as best as they can and direct you to the resources where you can find someone to really buddy up with. So that's all that I have to say. I saw a lot of comments in the chat here.
All the puke goals.
Yes, all the people. Wow. Love it.
But we are totally capable of doing it. Like, there's no reason why we can't. I mean, there are people out there that are busier than us, that have more life shit going on, that outwork us like 1,000 times, right? Like, there is no reason why we can't make this happen for all of us. Not just like Jenna and I becoming elite coaches and becoming elite teams. Like, let's have like a sea of elite coaches up there with one another, crying across stage, because I know I'll be crying. And then just like, cheering each other on, like, okay.
I already told one of my coaches, time to up your game. Like, I want you elite as well. So, everyone on this team is capable of building an amazing business. We all see it, and we're ready to just help you guys take things to the next level and finish the end of the year strong. Like, we have freaking, who is ready to like crush it? Who's ready to stop making excuses and to literally just sprint and achieve what you know in your heart you're capable of achieving? I know I'm ready, and I have goosebumps right now. And I know when I get the goosies, I am like, I'm excited and I'm doing it. So
yes.
I hope you guys were inspired tonight.
I hope so too. But seriously, whether it's a fitness goal, a personal goal, a business goal, or all of that in combination together, like, let's seriously stop playing small. Let's stop limiting ourselves and getting in our own way. I'm going to end the call with this song. So I hope you guys really listen to it and jam out to it. And whenever you need to get pumped up, whatever song is, you know, like resonates with you, or if there's some kind of book or podcast or video or whatever, like, keep that in your mind, you know, like, refresh yourself with it. Constantly put that messaging. Affirmations, that's one thing that a lot of successful coaches talked about a lot, is affirmations. And that's what helped them build the belief. Even when when it seems so far-fetched, every single day writing it down or reminding themselves or telling themselves, like, I will accomplish this. I am this. I am that. Our team is this. Our team is that. Whatever it might be, you know, like, put that in your mind. And I know sometimes, like, people think that's like woo stuff or whatever, but what's the worst thing that can happen? You try it and it works. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to play the odds, like, and try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna play the song. If anyone wants to take a picture for Instagram or a little video to share how awesome our team is.